Hello and welcome to the return of Roland Banks. He's going to carry on through the Arkham horror scenarios. I've no idea really, I've played through the scenarios once with Jenny, awesome Jenny. But I don't really know how well Roland is going to do in these, but I've started off with him and he is a good all-rounder, so let's give him a go. I've borrowed the extra scenarios from a friend of mine, Jack, who designed this super cool Ultra Pro case to keep them all in, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you, Jack. We're going to be doing the Dunwich Legacy, as shown here. So, obviously, spoilers. So, let's start the story. As per usual, I am going to change the tenses to I whenever possible to make it have a little bit more of a bit more of a Lovecraftian feel to it, because often they're written in the first person. So here we go. Prologue. Dr. Henry Armitage pours himself a glass of Pinot and sits down at his desk, gesturing for me to sit across from him. I apologise for the short notice, he begins. His face is pale, his forehead sweaty and wrinkled with worry. That would probably be a better shot, since my beautiful face is not his wrinkly one. Armitage, the head librarian of Miskatonic University and a former mentor of mine, privately contacted me in the hopes of gaining my assistance. Eager to help, I made my way to his home in Southside. Upon entering, I was surprised to find his home in disarray. Books and notes littered his desk, and an empty bottle of wine had tipped over onto the ground by the fireplace. I'd always known Armitage to be neat and well organised. The elderly man took a moment to collect his thoughts. I am looking for two of my colleagues, Dr. Francis Morgan, Professor of Archaeology, and Warren Rice, Professor of Languages. Warren was supposed to meet with me over supper earlier today to discuss several important findings, but he has since gone missing. At first I thought nothing of it, but I have a nagging feeling that something else is going on. A very familiar feeling. I'd never seen Armitage quite this worried before. His hands trembled as he reached for his glass on his desk, and he sipped from it nervously. I tried to find Francis, hoping he knew where Warren was, but he too is out of touch. Francis has been spending a lot of time in the gambling den, or so I'm told. I sent for you because I am worried Warren might be in trouble. I would appreciate it greatly if you would find him for me. You may also wish to ask Francis for help if you can reach him. So straight away, super cool now, investigators get to make a decision. Either we go and look for Professor Warren Rice, who was last seen in the Humanities Department of the Miskatonic University, in which case we do Scenario 1A, Extracurricular Activity, or Dr. Francis Morgan was last seen in the gambling den at the Clover Cub, an upscale speakeasy and gambling joint located downtown. Let's go and speak to him, in which case you do Scenario 1B. How cool is that right away? You choose which scenario you do first. So I've chosen and already prepared that I'm going to do the extracurricular activity scenario first, scenario 1A. Dr. Armitage is worried his colleague, Professor Rice, might be in trouble, so he's asked for my help in finding his friend. He seemed unreasonably nervous about his colleague's disappearance, considering Professor Rice has only been missing for a matter of hours. How lucky for Professor Armitage that he knows a detective. Right. So, Roland is ready to go. I've sorted out my deck and put in my random weaknesses. The enormous encounter deck has been prepared. The token bag has been done. There's no split tablet in this one on standard. I'm playing the game on standard because I'm not a masochist. So, just so you know that the token results, Skull, -1 if you fail, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Cultist, -1, -3 if there are 10 or more cards in your discard pile, and the Cthulhu symbol, which thankfully I do not have, so we do not need to worry about. So let's take a look at the agenda deck first of all. Quiet Halls. I have arrived at the Miskatonic University campus in search of Professor Warren Rice. Classes are over, and a mysterious silence hangs in the air over the quad. 7 doom required. And then after hours. Just look at that art. Professor Rice was last seen several hours ago by one of Armitage's students in the Humanities building. 3 clues required per investigator to advance. Right then, so let's draw this starting hand. So 5 cards and 5 resources with a selective mulligan. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got Overpower, Guts, Overpower, First Aid, and Flashlight. Well, we'll keep one of the Overpowers, we'll keep the Flashlight, we'll keep Guts, and we'll mulligan the other 2. So, just keeping Guts in case there's some sort of horrible mental check. I mean, Roland has got mental 3, so, you know, he's not completely useless at being mental. But some of them can be absolutely horrible. So I'd rather keep it in hand, especially since if I play it and the test is successful, I'm drawing a card, so it's almost a free card, essentially. Right, 2 more cards. We've got Emergency Cash. It's a nice early game card. And the Beat Cop. Pretty good to get a stat boosting ally this early. And with Emergency Cash, I should be able to get pretty much all of this on the table ASAP. So, my 5 resources. Right, we begin at the Miskatonic Quad. Let's take a look. Miskatonic Quad. A too early winter has stripped the trees bare. Their dead branches whistle as a sharp, cold wind cuts across the empty quad. 3 shrouds, 0 clues. Action, resign. I can't find Rice anywhere. I leave the campus, hoping Armitage will forgive me. Surrounded by fences and gates of wrought iron, you can't help but feel as much a prisoner here as a guest. Right. Let's get little Roland. So this location is connected to everything else. He was last seen in the Humanities building. So, gosh darn it, I'm going to roleplay it. We're going to go to that Humanities building because I would follow my leads. Right. So skip the Mythos phase. Right, let's get some stuff on the go. Now, really, I want to make sure that I'm in a location. With Roland, you always want to make sure that you're in a location with clues, so that if at the start of your turn, if through your turn a monster turns up, then when you kill it, you're going to be picking up clues. At the moment, I won't be doing that, so I'm going to play my Beat Cop. Listen here, Sonny. So clearly I've brought this this rookie cop with me training day style. I am Denzel Washington. So that's 1 action. I'm going to move to the Humanities building for my 2nd action. Professor Rice was last seen in the Humanities building teaching one of his Latin classes. The murky windows of the weather-worn structure emit no light, and the night is silent around me. 3 shroud. 2 clues per investigator. Forced. At the end of your turn, if you're in the Humanities building, discard the top X cards of your deck, where X is the amount of horror on me. Ugh. Gosh, the power is out, plunging the building's halls into heavy darkness. There is no sign of Professor Rice. What a horrible, horrible place. 2 clues, and with 3 shroud, that's going to be tough, although I have got my flashlight. Right. Well, at least I haven't got any horror on me at the moment, so I won't be discarding any cards thus far. Now, I'm not going to play Emergency Cash right now, because who knows, maybe I'll draw Paranoia and have to discard all my resources. By the same token, maybe I'll draw a card that means I've got to discard all my cards. But I'm going to gain a resource so that I can be ready to play the Flashlight next turn. There's no enemies. The upkeep phase, I get a resource and a card. Oh, ho, ho, ho! The magnifying glass. Oh, yes, that's made life a lot easier. Brilliant. Right, and then a Doom goes onto the agenda. 6 more required. And our first brush with this supernatural occurs. Oh, it's a Whippoorwill. 2 attack, 1 health, 4 fast aloof. It's aloof and a hunter. Each investigator at the Whippoorwill's location gets -1 everything. It is vowed that the birds are psychopomps, lying in wait for the souls of the dying. Oh, it actually comes from the Dunwich Horror. That's cool. So it spawns here. So, new keyword, aloof. What do you mean, aloof? Aloof. It stops those enemies from automatically engaging you. Oh, right. Okay, so that's what aloof means. So it means that enemies will not automatically engage you. Okay, well that's interesting. Does that mean that he's not engaged with me? Let's find out. 4, aloof. When an aloof enemy spawns, it spawns unengaged. An investigator may use the engage action or a card ability to engage an aloof enemy. An investigator cannot attack an aloof enemy while that enemy is not engaged with an investigator. Ah, right. So these things are like hiding nearby, so I'm going to have to spend an action to engage them and then kill them. Well, he says with great confidence. Okay then, that's interesting. Cool. Right, so I've got my actions. Well, I will engage this horrible creature. And then I will attack it, I suppose. So I've got -1 fist, but I've got +1 fist from the beat cop. So I'm 3 against 2. Do you know what? I'm going to play overpower. Even though this is a positive check, I really want to make sure this thing's dead. It'll let me draw a card, which will make up for the fact that I had to engage this. So token. It's the Hooded Man. -1, -3 if there are 10 or more cards in my discard pile. There are not. So the beat cop and I overpower the whippoorwill, killing it, which means I can discover a clue at my location. And because of overpower, I get to draw a card. Ho ho ho, the machete. Right, well that should mean any further combat will be a double. So that was an action to engage, an action to fight. Right, I might try and be cheeky here, and I'm going to play the magnifying glass, which is a fast action. So I've still got an action left, and I'm going to investigate. Although then that goes against my beliefs of clearing out a location. Or would I be better off playing the flashlight? Because I could use the flashlight's batteries, and that would they'd be stronger than the magnifying glass, but the magnifying glass is going to be stuck in my hand from when I play it. So actually, you know what? I will play the magnifying glass instead, using my last action. Because with a 3 shroud location, if I don't get another enemy, I want to make sure that this is going down. And the flashlight's going to really get some worth. There are some 1 shroud locations where the magnifying glass and the flashlight make no difference. But this isn't one of them. Cool, enemy phase. There's a beaten to death little bird thing. So there's nothing there, which means we get resource and a card. Oh, Dr. Milan Christopher. Right, okay, well, that means that the beat cop's days are probably numbered. I mean, not that I'm going to do the discard thing, but it's good to know that we've got Dr. Milan ready to go for when the beat. This is the problem with not having charismatic. If I had charismatic, I'd definitely put down emergency cash, get Milan Christopher into play, and I'd have +1 fight and +1 investigate. I'd be getting resources every time I investigated successfully. You know, it would just be an absolutely brilliant combo. But that's for the future. So, one more Doom card. Oh, such cool art, which you will get to enjoy once it focuses. Eager for Death. Revelation. Test will 2. Increase this skills test difficulty by 1 for each damage on you. If you fail, take 2 horror. If they can catch the fleeing soul when it leaves the body, they instantly flutter away, chittering in demonic laughter. Now, I am 1 clear on this, but I don't really want to take 2 horror, and I kept hold of Guts for a reason. I know that this test is technically easy, but better to hopefully pass it than take the early horror, which will make the later tests more difficult anyway. Oh no, that's the damage. Okay, well, let's see. So, -1. So I would have passed it anyway, but passed it with overpower, with Guts, sorry. which means I get to draw a card. Physical training. Right, that will be useful. A lot of useful cards, but there we go. Okay then. Now, I'm somewhat loath to equip the magnifying glass now, because then if I need to fight something, I can't equip the machete. But the magnifying glass would mean that I would be 4 on 1, which would make this a formality. Do you know what? I am going to equip the magnifying glass, and I'm really just going to try and smash clues and hope that the +1 from the beat cop and Roland's natural badassery mean that any enemies that turn up I can deal with. So that's a fast action. So I've still got 3 actions left. Spent one of the batteries from the flashlight, investigating the humanities building, -2. I had 4 investigated. Shroud was down to 1, so that was complete. Good. Okay, then we can go to the Miskatonic Quad, or we can go to the Orne Library. So, second action, let's move to the Orne Library. 3 floors of weathered grey granite. The library looks more like a reliquary, apologies for that pronunciation, than a place of learning. Stone gargoyles snarl down from above the arched windows, and Latin script winds around the double doors at the top of the wide set of stone steps. 3 Shroud. 1 clue per investigator. You must spend 1 additional action to investigate the Orne Library. Ugh, but it is a victory point, and this is exactly why we took a flashlight and the magnifying glass. Right, now I can't therefore investigate that, because I equipped the magnifying glass as a fast action, I investigated the humanities building, and then I moved to the Orne Library, so I've got 1 action left. So that's not enough with the additional cost. So I'm going to spend 2 and put physical training into play, because it's more I can't equip a weapon, and I want that flexibility. So enemy phase, nothing. Upkeep phase, a resource and a card. Unexpected courage, loving it. I mean, those skill cards, technically I would have passed those checks anyway, but the insurance of them and drawing the cards, I really, really do like the skill cards. Unexpected courage obviously doesn't have that card draw, but it's so much more flexible. Right then, Doom. We're on 3 of 7 now. Another card. Oh, well, I did shuffle these. It's another one of these whippoorwills, which is pretty bloody good, actually. Interesting that they're hunters, so they're going to follow you around and just make you rubbish. Right. So, my turn. Right, engage the whippoorwill. Now, when I attack it, I'm going to be 4 to its... Oh no, I'm 4 to its 2. I'm thinking I'm Jenny with my earlier maths. So I'm 4 to its 2 because it balances out the beat cop. Let's just try and beat it to death the old way. If I can not spend the resource on physical training, that'd be better. Ah, -4. That sucks. I don't really want to be taking a horror here, so I'm going to spend a resource to boost myself from physical training. And skull, -1. If you fail, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. No, I did not fail. I beat those little birds to death. And thank you, Roland. Now I have that clue. So I don't know that I really want to spend them yet. I think I should see what's going to happen first. So enemy phase, nothing there. Upkeep phase, resource, and a card. A knife, a good cheap alternative to the machete for when that flashlight runs out. Right, Doom. God. Oh no, Beyond the Veil, Surge, Revelation. Put Beyond the Veil into play in your threat area. If there is no copy of Beyond the Veil in your threat area, Forced, if your deck has no cards in it, take 10 damage and discard beyond the veil. Lovely. Oh, no, so it doesn't mean I get to draw another card. A Light of Aforgomon. Peril. Revelation. You must attach Light of Aforgomon to either the current agenda or the current act. Limit 1 per act or agenda. Treat all damage as direct damage and all horror as direct horror. Ooh, so it gets past your allies. Hey, I'll attach that to the current act deck. Hey, I'll spend my clues in advance. I should really check that spending the clues thing, because maybe I had to do that last turn. In fact, I will check that now, because I don't want to... be getting this wrong and start Roland off on the wrong foot. So, advancing. This is normally done as a fast player ability. Any other... No, I can do it. I can do it whenever I want. So, yeah, I'll do it then. And that gets rid of that card. And I feel clever. Right then. What's next? I was unable to find Professor Rice, but one of the students I spoke to mentioned a strange man entering Rice's office. Unfortunately, the door leading to the faculty offices is locked at this late hour. The student says that the head janitor, Jazz, might be able to let me in if I can find him. Shuffle the encounter discard pile and the set aside Jazz Mulligan into the encounter deck. Ah, right, so those whippoorwills that we killed earlier go back into the deck, and Yaz Mulligan gets to go in as well. I don't know what the chances are of actually finding Yaz Mulligan are, but I imagine the deck will take care of that. So, here's Yaz Mulligan. He's a head janitor. But we won't learn more about him until we encounter him. So... Oh, it's good. We've already picked up one victory point at least. There we... Oh, and the light of that should go in, sorry. Right then. There we go. So, next act. Act 2A. Rice's whereabouts. Concerned for Professor Rice's safety, I sought out the head janitor, who can let me into the locked sections of the campus. Spend 1 clue. Discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. 10 if this is a 1-player game. If you discard Jazz Mulligan for any reason, resolve this revelation effect. When you take control of Yaz Mulligan, advance. Oh man! Oh, this could take forever. Oh, Roland. Well, looks like we're going clue hunting. So, right. Off we go then. Where can we go from the Orne Library? We can go to the Miskatonic Quad or the Humanities Building. Great. Let's go to the Miskatonic Quad. From the Miskatonic Quad, let's go to the Administrative Building. As Roland takes a nice tour of the university. Around the aged Administration Building, creepers of ivy climb from the ground in an effort to claim it. The old hall stands alone in an isolated section of the campus, apart from the day-to-day bustle of students. Foreshroud! 1 clue. Forced, after the Administration Building is revealed, put the set-aside faculty offices into play. Forced, at the end of your turn, if you are in... Oh my god, if you are in the Administration Building, discard the top card of your deck? That's horrible. What am I putting into play? The faculty offices. There we go. The door leading into them is locked. You come to a locked door at the top of the stairs leading to the 3rd floor of the Administration Building. Through its frosted window you glimpse a shadow darting across the hall. But I can't get in, damn it. So from here I can go to the faculty offices or the Miskatonic Quad. Do I really want to be discarding cards off the top of my deck? Not really. There's only one clue here, and it's a 4. Let's see, I can get that shroud down to 2, and my investigate goes up to 4, so I'm 2 up on it. But I really don't want to be discarding cards. Chances are I'm not going to get enough clues here to do the freaking thing anyway. So I'm going to move back to the Miskatonic quad. Ugh, a turn just moving around. What a waste of time. Right, a resource and a card. Here's what I would have discarded had I stayed. I would have discarded my treachery. Live and learn, you silly. Put cover up into play in your threat area with 3 clues on it. When you would discover 1 or more clues at your location, discard that many clues from cover up instead. When the game ends, if there are any clues on cover up, you suffer a mental trauma. Now, bully. So I need to discover clues at a nice low shrouded area to get rid of the clues off cover up, to get some clues, to discard some cards, to actually find Yaz. Oh well. Right. Doom. Up to 5. Card. An enemy. Roland's so happy. Oh god. Forced. When the Yithian Observer attacks you, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Jeez, oh, this guy's a freaking beast. However, oh, fiddlesticks, he doesn't pursue you. And he's spawned here. I'm just wondering, this might be one of those situations. Oh no, because anytime I move into because he's spawned in the quad, whenever I meet him here, it's going to be a mess. Do you know what though? I think fighting him later might be a better idea. Well, the beat cop can take a bit of a beating. See, I've got the machete in hand, which would make this an achievable fight. Oh dear, because I can't be trying to pass 4 tests against him if I equip. I think if I equip the machete, I've got to drop something anyway. I'm 5 to his 4. Do you know what? I think I'm going to be best to try and avoid this guy. So I'm going to evade him using unexpected courage. -3, that bodes terribly. I was 4, it's 3, I failed, hooray, yay. Oh god. Well, I mean, do I just try and beat this thing to death then? It's going to be really annoying if I have to whatever I have to discard from my hand. Let's just try and beat him to death. He's worth a victory point. Right. Spend a resource for physical training. So that puts me 6 on 4. Oh, come on, game. Spend another resource. Yes, a wound. At least when we discard the beat cop, he'll do a wound as well. Right, enemy phase. Discard 1 card at random. Well, whichever one this is, I'm going to be sad. It is Milan Christopher. Well, to be honest, he's probably, if I had to discard one of them, he was probably the better one to discard. And I will put the damage and the horror onto the beat cop. Right. resource and a card. Oh man, I've got blinking cover up to deal with as well. Manual dexterity. It's like the game is telling me to run away from him. Okay, Doom. Feels very appropriate right now. So that's 6 on there. If I play anything, he gets to attack me, which means I'm discarding cards, which sucks. So, in theory, we can beat him to death. So, first check. -1. Yes, thank you, beat cop. Right, spend a resource for physical training. Auto fail. Hit him again. -1. Thank you, beat cop. That's 1 more wound on him. And as a fast action, I will discard beat cop to deal a damage to an enemy at my location, killing this horrible creature. And that's another victory point at least. Oh, man. Oh, which means I would discover a clue, which means I get to take a clue off... Well, correction, I have to take a clue off Colour Up. Right. Jeez, oh. Right. Unfortunately, I can't play anything else. But there we go. Enemy phase, nothing. Gain a resource. Draw a card. Guard dog. Good work, you. I need a new replacement ally. Right, Doom. God, slowed to a crawl now, thanks to cover-ups and all sorts. Okay, then. The university is dead silent. The shadows coil around your feet as you walk, and you swear there is something following you with each step you take. Is it just my imagination, or is there really someone or something stalking me? Each investigator with 5 or more cards in his or her discard pile takes 1 horror. Oh, the beat cop makes it 5 exactly. First campaign in the Advanced 2 Agenda 2A. Right. Right then. Only 3 Doom. Dead of Night. Professor Rice's disappearance isn't the only thing amiss at the university. I'm unsure exactly what's going on, but I'm starting to believe Armitage was right in asking for help. Each investigator's maximum hand size is reduced by 3 while checking his or her hand size during the upkeep phase. I want to say that the hand size is 8. 8. So I can have 5, which is what I'm on at the moment. Right then. Enemy card. Visions of futures past. Revelation. Test. Mental. Will. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. Oh, poop. I don't have anything that can boost that. So it's 3 on 5 at the moment. With -1, -3 if there are 10 or more cards in your discard pile. There aren't. So I discard 3. I discard a 45 automatic. Unexpected courage. And Roland's 38 special. Yay! Oh gosh, it's going so well. Oh, I spent those clues. Right. Okay then. Right, let's go to the science building. So this is just as fun as the last one I went to. The science building dominates the eastern side of the campus. Its windows are dark, save for a lone window shining faintly in the corner of the basement. 2 shroud, 1 clue. Force after the science building is revealed, put the set-aside alchemy labs into play. Force, when you fail a mental test in the science building, take a damage. A trail of vicious ooze snakes through the science hall's building's first floor, leading down into the basement. The alchemy labs... They're locked. Thanks, Jazz. So that was my first action, was to move into there. Right. Use the flashlight with my magnifying glass. Even though obviously it's not like I need the flashlight to lower the shroud when I'm already a bit higher. I need to burn it anyway, really, because I need to get through these clues on cover up, and I need a hand free. -1. Remove another clue from cover up. Right then, use my last battery on the flashlight. And -1. Removed all the things from cover up. Thank goodness. Oh no, it actually doesn't go into the discard pile. It's still in my threat area, since there are things that like how big my discard pile is. So that was my turn of mitigating my weakness. Fun times. Right then, resource and a card. I'm actually going to have to discard a card because of the dead of night. Another 45 automatic. Right, what am I going to discard? I'm going to discard... I think I'm actually going to discard the 45 automatic. Right. Okay. And then Doom. A whippoorwill! It's everyone's best friend. Right. God, I've got a lot of these little birds. Right then, I'm going to play Emergency Cash for 3 resources. Oh, fiddlesticks. I won't have enough actions to kill the blinking whippoorwill as well. Okay. I'll equip the knife for 1 resource, engage the whippoorwill, and stab the whippoorwill. Because I can always throw the knife later for the bonus instead. So I'm -1 from there, so I'm 4 on 2. Oh, man! Oh, God, the game hates me. Right, enemy phase, take a horror. Man, this is going poorly. You chose poorly. Upkeep phase. Another knife. I'm coated in knives. Doom. God, not much of the blinking game left. Ancient Evils. Put a thing on it. Add a Doom. Oh my lord. There is like 1 thing left. I've achieved basically nothing. I can't find a janitor. A cry of fear echoes through the campus, and several students flee from the eastern side of the university where the science building can be found. Is it because of the whippoorwills? Could this commotion be linked to Professor Rice's disappearance? If the dormitory's location is not in play, put it into play. If the experiment is in play, move it 1 location towards the dormitories. If the experiment is not in play, spawn it in the science building. Hey, right where I am. Hooray! I'm so pleased. Right then, there's the dormitories. Here's the experiment. What a happy looking chap. He's got 10 health. Massive. When the enemy phase begins, ready the experiment. If the experiment is defeated, advance to Act 3B. Yay, that means we're friends. You're engaged with me. Hurrah! Right. Okay, so he's massive though. I think that matters more with multiple players, but let's just check. Massive. An exhausted enemy with a massive keyword is not considered to be engaged with any investigators. An enemy with a massive keyword cannot be placed in the investigator's threat area. Okay, he's just in the science building. And he's considered to be engaged with every investigator at the same location. He engages it against all the investigators. Good lord. Wow. No, he doesn't move when I move. That's good. Right. Okay then. That's nice. So, the Beast Unleashed. Some kind of wild creature is on the loose. Whatever it is, it appears to be headed towards the university dormitories. Forced when this agenda would advance by reaching its doom threshold, instead remove all doom in play and move the experiment one location towards the dormitories. Objective: if the experiment enters the dormitories, advance. God damn, man. Oh well. What a disaster. So I can try and kill it, although it will beat me to death after 2 turns. Even with a machete, at most, I could do 6 damage a turn. Pretty sure if I move, then they get to hit me. Move. Attack of opportunity. Attack of opportunity is on page 5. Okay. Good times, good times. Right. Right. Okay. So, let's fling my dagger at the whippoorwill. I know that seems weird because it only needs 1 damage anyway, but I need to kill this thing. So, fling a damage at the whippoorwill. Skull, which is -1. So that was more than enough. Killed the whippoorwill. Discover a clue at my location. Spend my... Oh my gosh, it's an action. Oh my lord, I can't do that now. Goodness gracious. It's hard to find a janitor. Right. Now, evade the experiment with manual dexterity. -1. Hooray. Success. Oh, vicious blow. We are cooking with gas. 1 resource too short. How could I not possibly have enough resources to do what I need? This sucks. What does it? It sucks. Right. Let's get out of the science building and head to the Miskatonic Quad. Right. Where was the place that was restricting my hand size? What was doing that? Is it the dead of night? No. Was it after hours? Nope. What was doing that? Was it this one? No, it wasn't quite horse. What? Why have I been there we go. Yeah, it was 2. Yeah. Okay, my hand size is back to normal now. So, resource and a card. Another emergency cache. Cool. Are you readies? Right. Down. The card. Offer of power. Peril. Revelation. You must either choose draw 2 cards and place 2 doom on the current agenda, or take 2 horror. Yeah, doom on the current agenda. Right. So he moves 1 step closer to the dormitory. Come at me, bro. Right. Oh no! Oh, for fiddlestick's sake, I haven't equipped my blinking machete yet. Man, I honestly don't know what on earth I'm supposed to do here. If I take the 2 horror, there's nothing. There's no way I can stop him. I haven't got any means of healing. Oh God. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. I could evade him. That's my best bet. Alright then. So, I'm just going to flat evade, and that's the only hope that I have of doing this. So, flat evade. -4. Okay. One more flat evade. +1. Oh, the gods are with me. So he's exhausted, which means I will play the machete. Right. There is the slimmest of hope. Right then. So I get a resource and a card. The laboratory assistant. Actually, she is incredibly helpful because she's got some horror on her. Right. The enemy readies. A doom goes onto there. Draw a card. Oh, arcane barrier. Good. Attached to your location. It's an additional cost to move in or out of the test. Will 4. If you succeed, discard it. Otherwise, you must either cancel the effects of the move or discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Good. I'm trapped in here with this thing now. Right then. So when I beat this thing, realistically, I can cause 5 damage at most. Oh, no, that's a lie. I could cause 7. So. Right then. Off we go then, Roland. Attacking it. I've got 5. It's 4. I could spend, but how's that going to help any of the ones? Alright then. There's a knife. I'm 6. It's 4. I'm chopping at it with my machete. Oh, when the enemy phase begins, ready the experiment. Oh, it would have killed me long ago. Yeah. Yeah, I would have been dead a long time ago. So I would have resigned. So I resigned. Crap. Okay, I resign. No resolution was reached. As I fled from the university, I heard screaming coming from the northern end of the campus. An ambulance passed me by, and I feared the worst. Hours later, I learned that a rabid dog of some sort found its way into the university dormitories. The creature attacked the students inside, and many were mauled or killed in the attack. Professor Warren Rice was kidnapped. I failed to save the students. I'm haunted by guilt, so I had a broken token. And I get Victory X +1. There we go. Oh, how disappointing. So I get 3 experience points and add that horrible token to the bag. Well, that was really, really anticlimactic. I have to say that the first time I played this scenario, we found jazz and much more interesting things happened. That sort of fell flat. But my cover-up, essentially meant that there was 3 clues, which is 30 cards that I wasn't able to discard. Yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of that one. Let's hope the next scenario is more fun.